No,
going
welcome
on?
to No Ideas Original Sports. I'm back here with Theo and Reem. How's the week?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Madden just came out, so I'm feeling very happy right now. So I'm good. It could rain all day.
I
Yeah.
hear you. I hear you, man. Before we start, what's the team? Oh, you the Cowboys. I already know that.
Yeah, all day, every day. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you the
So
Cowboys or something.
yes.
Yeah, that should be good. Kareem, who you go with Madden 22?
Jets.
Jets?
Jets. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm crazy enough to try to play with the Minnesota Vikings.
That's what's up. They got weapons there, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, jumping right into it, man. They got a lot of interesting things about who's good players now, who's the best in the league, and all this other stuff or something. So LeBron James didn't get no votes for the best player in the league yet. Do you guys think that that's accurate at this point, or I mean, I don't know. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Nah, I think he should have got a couple of votes. I think it goes in line with that narrative though that LeBron is washed. I think a lot of people are running around saying that. Maybe they want him to be, but I still think he's. I don't know if he's necessarily the top on everybody's list, but he should have got a few votes. I think. Granted, I like KD, I like some of the other guys, but I think LeBron should have got a couple of votes there.
Yeah, I think LeBron should at least got one vote from somebody. But it's about, I guess you tired or you don't really appreciate LeBron, how great he is for a long period of time. So people kind of tired of him or tired of his ways, I guess. They're tired of seeing him go to the finals or see him on TV, so to speak. You want to see a fresh face, going for the chip. So I guess more about, just tired of seeing him, doing well and being productive more or less than him not deserving to get a first place vote or I guess being voted for the best player in the league.
I mean, I got to listen. I got to agree with both of you, and you know what? The only thing I could think that they got to be factoring, they got somehow or other they got to be probably factoring age or something like that too, because that has to be in it because it can't be skilled. His numbers, yeah, they're not. I can't say that he's his numbers of old necessarily, but he should at least got a vote or vote in it or something. I mean, hell, his own GM voted, so
Mm,
how he didn't get a vote? That's an interesting thing. But they took votes from all the executives, and his team is one of the teams. So how he didn't get a vote, he might want to discuss that with them too. How he
right.
didn't get a vote.
Yeah, that sounds a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But another thing with that is you got I don't think he's the best, but he won the MVP. Jokic didn't get any votes either. Jokic didn't get any votes, and Embiid wasn't it? From what I understand, wasn't it just Katie and Giannis across the board?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah, I think
read.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe Curry got a vote. Maybe I'm not quite sure.
yeah,
I'm not
maybe
sure that
Curry.
was.
Yeah, maybe Curry, but I don't think anybody else got a vote. I'm sure some other guys are salty. Like you got a James Harden who probably thought he should have got a vote or something or two. So it'll be
Hmm.
interesting. Maybe this would be motivation for some players. I know for LeBron it'll be motivation.
Yeah, I think he said he's using it as motivation. He came out and straight up said it. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
The last time LeBron got so-called disrespected, he won a chip. That seems the following season, man. So
yeah.
I'm just
He
throwing it
get,
out there, man.
he getting disrespected a lot because Richard Jefferson said that a healthy Lakers team versus a healthy Nets team, that's not even really a game. He said a healthy Nets team will easily beat a healthy Lakers team.
They may win. I wouldn't throw around that term easily. I think that might be a bit much. It's hard to
You
count
know,
against LeBron, you know?
you know, this was talk about when with LeBron's character of disrespect, man. Like come on, LeBron is just like I don't know how he carries himself off the court. Maybe he just soft mannered, mild mannered, overly humble. I mean, the Nets have no big man right now.
No,
I mean, I don't want to go there, but Durant and AD cancel each other out.
I think what I believe they're gonna do. I heard that DeAndre Jordan is on the block. I got a feeling that LaMarcus Aldridge is probably gonna go back there, and they also looking to probably remove or trade or cut a couple of guys too. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised that was in that if DeAndre Jordan's moved or something like that. Because
Right.
they're looking at Paul. The Lakers and them are both looking at Paul Millsap too.
He's solid.
Yeah, he would be a good pickup for either team.
The
I think he'll do better for the Nets than DeAndre Jordan for the Nets. Honestly,
yeah, he
he could
would.
play center, play power
Mhm.
forward, he can stretch the floor out. If he making jump shots, even better. So
Yeah, yep, yep. So, what do you guys think of that Christmas game schedule? I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people feel like Denver was disrespected. They got the MVP and all this stuff, but I mean, I don't feel bad about that because sometimes you look at the matchups. Like when you look at who's Denver's real rival, who would you really want to see Denver play?
I don't know if they have one, you know. And I think in order for it to be a Christmas game, that's like a criteria. So I don't know who Denver's rival is. Plus, not only that, granted he won the MVP, but is the Joker somebody you necessarily want to see? His style is not necessarily appealing, at least not in my opinion.
Yeah,
no, it's probably more about showcasing Joker than anything else, really. Murray's there. He may return. Hopefully, he be healthy enough. Porter's still there. Um, but it's about showcasing the MVP of the league. The way I see it, he may not be too appealing, but then again, he doesn't play an appealing position, which is the center position. So that being said, I think it's more about showcasing MVP to the world, more than I guess a rivalry of the Nuggets.
he should get an opportunity. I was looking at something else because it was interesting that we were talking about the Christmas game. Have you?
Right.
I mean, you guys got a chance to read some of this about who's playing prime time and the amount of times. Like, you really, really, basically, if we watching prime time games on these channels, we're gonna be watching the same games because it looked like
Mm-hmm.
I gotta. You know what? I was really happy about this. You gotta believe. I think the Knicks got 30, 31, 31 nationally televised games this year. So, I mean, kudos to the Knicks. I give them
Mm-hmm.
credit. I think
Right.
Lakers and the Nets got half their seasons of nationally televised game, like 41 televised games or something like that. And the Sixers got a lot in Milwaukee. So, they pushing the big teams now, which are
Right.
really out there to put them on TV. I
Mm-hmm.
guess,
Yeah, exactly. And it's no knock against Denver or the Joker. It's just that they don't really necessarily play. I think with Murray there, maybe they play a little bit more entertaining brand of basketball, but I don't know if they're entertaining enough. And we all know that the league is about views.
it,
So I don't know if Denver is necessarily entertaining enough to push the viewership up.
it could be
Versus, right,
something.
you have the Knicks and the Hawks, right? That was a huge playoff rivalry. Trey Young doing all that stuff at the Garden, right? Shushing the crowd and everything else. Because remember, this previous year, right? The Knicks weren't even on Christmas, and they had been a staple on Christmas. Then you have Denver, Golden State, right? With Klay Thompson potentially coming back on Christmas. So that's like a big story.
Right.
So I don't know who else if they slid Denver in there. I don't know who they would have replaced in order to get them in.
Yeah, I have a problem with Denver being in there. I mean, I don't think Denver is a big market like the Knicks and Boston, other teams that
Yeah.
has mentioned though. But you said who else do you replace? Hypothetically speaking, who do you replace if they got Denver? Denver's fine. They're becoming a team. You got talent, so team know who they are. They're a tough team, so I don't mind seeing them play on Christmas Day.
Just looking at it, another big day that's usually pretty good for the NBA is MLK Day, where they have all the games and everybody's home.
Hmm.
Denver, I mean, I was surprised to see this. Like, they got the 76ers and the Wizards, and they got the Pelicans and the Celtics. The Knicks always play. The Knicks play the Hornets. The Knicks always get the MLK Day. But if anything, I could have seen them squeezing Denver into that schedule because, I couldn't see why that they would have that. Like, they got the Nets, they got the Grizzlies. Again, they don't have Denver on that slate at all. Denver's not even playing that day. So it's interesting. They might have a good reason to feel somewhat slighted about, not getting these televised games. But looking at it, I don't think Utah got a lot. I'm pretty much sure they didn't. Phoenix got a few, but I don't think they got a lot. They haven't quite jumped on the Zion bandwagon, so they didn't get that much. Basically, the main playoff teams, the West pretty much got the Clippers got a good amount of games. So you
And it's
basically got
funny, right?
the Lakers and the Clippers in the West Coast, and you got the Nets, Milwaukee, the Nets, Milwaukee, Atlanta. What's it, Atlanta? The Knicks in the East Coast. The West Coast didn't get a lot of those games. Maybe it has to do with the time too, because West Coast games for them to start at 7:30, 8 o'clock, they'd have to what would it be like 6:30 out there.
Yeah.
So that's interesting too.
I think if anybody in the West that should feel slighted about this more so than Denver is probably Phoenix. Like you just said, here it is. Phoenix just appeared in the finals, and they're still not a prominent team in terms of televised games. So unless, like you said, maybe it's the timing of it. Maybe it's people aren't convinced of Phoenix being able to repeat in terms of making it back to the finals. I don't know what it is, but Phoenix should feel a little slighted too.
Yeah, I agree about Phoenix for sure.
Yeah. So looking at that and what's him, and we look at the games and MVP and everything else. We got the Celtics retiring KG's number on March 13th. I mean, from what I believe, the Timberwolves already did it, but for one thing, I mean, I gotta say, KG was 21, right?
For Minnesota, number 21, yeah.
Yeah.
It was 6 for Boston.
6 for Boston?
I think I'm not saying, but also number 7. Were you 24 for Boston? I'm quite sure.
I gotta check, but that's
but Boston was 6, so I should do that.
Yeah, I think
he was a single digit number. He was definitely 21, like you said.
For the Timberwolves. But I think it's a valid question. To be retired by a team like the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks.
Number 5. I'm sorry. You're number 5. I'm sorry, number 5. Yeah, number 5. I'm sorry.
For a team to be retired for the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks, all these big time nostalgic teams, the Sixers, it's like a really, really big deal. And I mean, KG, he won there, but would you put him in the Celtics rafters and retire the number for the Celtics?
I'm assuming the reason why he's being retired there, his jersey is the championship. Because outside of that, I personally look at KG as a Timberwolf. To me, that's KG. Granted, he won there, had a lot of success there, but I don't think he should have had his jersey retired there. And it's not a disrespect thing; it's just a matter of years in. And like you mentioned, being up there in the rafters with all those greats. I don't know if he has the time required with the franchise.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I know he's a great player, for the Hall of Famer, but having a number being retired for Boston, I don't see it.
That's different.
I don't see it at all. I don't think he put enough time over there, like a Paul Pierce putting time over there, and Antoine Walker putting time over there. Guys like that putting time, So it's probably off of his name alone. He probably was good off and on the court. Played with his heart. People like that in Boston. He played with his heart. He played tough. Was physical. So I understand that though. But aside of that, I personally wouldn't vote for him to have numbers, retired in Raptors in Boston history.
Because if you look at it from the flip side, certain players on that team, was Ray Allen retired as a Milwaukee Buck?
Right. Well.
Yeah.
That's what I look at him as.
Right. Yeah, Ray Allen's not going to be retired as a Celtic. I tell you that much.
Right. I agree. You're going to retire Kawhi's jersey in Toronto too. You might as well.
Exactly. He played there for a season and we won. Retired his jersey. Mm-hmm. Right now for Kawhi, the only place he's going to be retired is at San Antonio.
Yeah, where he's playing. You got to be healthy, man.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Again, with the NBA, the Miami Heat require, and I've seen this with football too. They kind of advertise it. I think it was the Atlanta Falcons, the first team, or the Redskins, first team fully vaccinated. They had some advertisement about it. Might have been the Falcons, but the Miami Heat is retiring. They're requiring everybody to get vaccinated. I mean, I don't know legally if they can do that. But one thing, I guess, if you employ, but they pretty much can ask you or tell you to do whatever they want to do. But you think that'll become a trend amongst the teams, and do you think that are they going to even be able to do that?
Yeah, I think it is going to be a trend. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the FDA may be set to, at least for Pfizer, may be set to approve Pfizer, right? So once that happens, I was hearing that there may be a trickle effect, not just in sports, but in companies in general. I know Google is one company, I believe, that started doing it for everybody who at least has to go on site. So I think NBA wise, I think the floodgates are about to open. I think a lot of teams was just waiting for another team or two to jump out there and put themselves out there to see what the scrutiny looks like. And now that the Miami Heat did it, don't be surprised if there's a bunch of other teams jumping on board across all sports.
Okay, yeah. Are we talking about basketball players or actual employees for the company, or both?
They're requiring the way they phrased it. It was interesting because I thought about exactly what you said. They said the employees, but then when they spoke to the owner and stuff, they want the players too. I don't know how it's going to work out trying to get them to comply because you know how the players union and stuff like that. But I believe that the guy wants them all because he basically the guy who owns it. I think his name Mickey Arison is the guy that owns Carnival, the cruise line.
Yeah.
So in order to be consistent with what he's doing across all his businesses, he wants everybody vaccinated everywhere because to work for Carnival, you can't even get on the boat without being vaccinated.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, we've all seen this coming. They are creating ways to get everybody vaccinated. From entering arenas to even buying food for your family. That's coming too.
Yeah.
That being said, it's tough to have people trying to force you to take a shot you don't want to take. So to speak. This is why a lot of people. There's a lot of people who don't, like the NFL, for example, get sit out of the season and come back the following season. But I get it though. It's about money. It's about, I guess, trying to go back to so-called normal, so to speak. But I'm quite sure people put up a fight before everybody will I guess agree to getting vaccinated for sure. It can't be a one team. It can't be a one franchise team in NBA. It got to be all 30 teams in the NBA to agree on this. It can't be just 1 or 4 or 5 out of 30.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it may be like the uphill battle for it to be adopted may be more so from the players versus the employees. Sure, you're going to have employees that may not want to be vaccinated, whatever the case may be, but the players are the ones who have the pull. So if you look at the Miami Heat, if Jimmy Butler, let's say, I don't know if he's vaccinated or not, but if he's somebody who is against it, that may have a little more weight than us three on here saying, hey, we don't want to be vaccinated. They'll, just get rid of us, but it's hard to move on from Jimmy Butler just because he doesn't want to be vaccinated or, something like that. So I think the players will have a lot of influence in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, at least, if it goes down the NBA route, I hope for their sake it doesn't go the NFL route because the NFL route, that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because, okay, let's say a big Patrick Mahomes loses a games check. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but he's got a lot of money already. The guy low end on the spectrum who loses a game check because they can't play the game because somebody, not vaccinated, that's going to be a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
So that NFL thing is going to be a little different, like them determining, who caused it. And they said both teams lose it. So it doesn't make a difference whether what player on what team caused it or what team caused it. All the players, including even the coaches, lose their salary for that game. So that's going to be interesting.
That's tough. They're definitely trying to corner everybody. They're definitely trying to corner anybody taking a shot.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
So on a lighter note, this is going to be an interesting one because I know how Theo's going to feel about this one. NBA 2K22 rated LaMelo Ball and Ben Simmons identical at 84. Do you? I can see him shaking his head. Do you agree with the ratings of LaMelo Ball and Simmons being the same rated player on the game?
Nah, I think at this point, I would personally still put Ben Simmons above LaMelo Ball. As much as I like LaMelo Ball, he just doesn't have the time in yet. Ben Simmons, his worst season is probably the equivalent of what LaMelo Ball just put up. Granted, it was his rookie season, right? But I would say Ben Simmons is right now definitely a better player than LaMelo. Whether LaMelo will surpass him eventually, he's trending in that direction. They're both trending in opposite directions. But I think if Ben Simmons gets his head on straight in terms of his offensive game, then easily Ben Simmons deserves a higher rating than LaMelo. I don't even know if LaMelo deserves an 84 in general. And again, he's trending in the right direction. Rookie of the year. Rookie of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he looks good. I'm a huge LaMelo fan, but I would put Ben Simmons above him. I think Ben Simmons took a few hits on his points due to that playoff performance, right? He had a couple of games where he had like 0 points, 2 points. Then the infamous under the basket. I think Trae Young might have been there. He didn't slam the ball. So I think all of those things are what's affecting him. But even with that, he should still have a higher rating, I would say, than LaMelo.
Yeah, I see quite a few egregious ratings for these players, even in Madden, man. So this is why these guys go to their Twitter page and call out EA Sports and 2K. They got Westbrook as 85. Come on, give me a break, man. Are you serious? He's 85, Westbrook. He's 85. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
That's disrespectful for Westbrook, man. He had a good year with Wizards, man.
LaMelo's an 84 and Westbrook's an 85, and we just talked about Ben Simmons trending in the wrong direction. And he's an 85.
Right, exactly. And you know what I mean? It's change it, but I just seen a video of Ben Simmons playing a pickup game with a bunch of other NBA stars.
I watched the same video.
Dude, Steph Curry out there. Am I bugging here, dude? You put him 35 feet, swishing it.
Yeah.
Spot up. I'm saying quick on shot, pull up. Why not do that in a real game? I don't understand that though, but as far as rating concerned, man, Ben should be higher than LaMelo. But I'm not mad at LaMelo 85. LaMelo played great, man, for rookie year. He played great. Yeah. Good penetrator, good shooter. Made everybody great. Anybody better, so to speak. So his rating I haven't a problem with though, but he should be lower than Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I can see there's going to be some players, like you said, Westbrook at 85. There's going to be some players with some issues with these ratings. Yeah,
I think there wasn't there an incident with Bradley Beal, because they had Bradley Beal as an 89.
Yeah,
Bradley Beal's wife got into it on Twitter with Ronnie 2K over it.
Yeah,
so even LeBron had a tweet, I think, man. But he had 95, 96. I'm a 99, man. KD, somebody at 97.
Said he was a 99. He was a 96.
Yeah, man. Yeah, these guys ain't having it, man. They ain't having it.
Yeah, I think Bradley Beal should have been above 89 too, at least somewhere in the low 90s.
Yeah, I give him 91 or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that.
I like to see how they rate these guys. There's got to be some dudes that's really pissed sitting there that they in the 70s and the 60s.
I can imagine, man. But that's how I follow some of these guys. I'm about to see some of these guys' tweets, man. They be calling EA out. They hashtag them, calling them out, man. Listen, man, she's my rating. They be calling up the company, the headquarters, and everything, man. So these guys take it seriously, these ratings.
Yeah, I remember Ronnie 2K said something about don't they adjust the ratings every week or something like that, or every couple of weeks? So if you perform better, your ratings could go up.
They do that in Madden for sure.
Yeah, it's frequent. Yeah.
But some people's, I notice in Madden, some people's ratings go down. Like if you get out there and you stinking it up early.
and fellas, we don't know what matters. They take away, don't take away 1 point, they take away 2 or 3 points sometimes, man. They tough, man. Like, come on, 3 points from somebody's
89 down to 79 in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, man. That's right.
3-4 weeks. So I'm like, man, I got this dude on the team now. Yeah, I seen that. Like, dude, quarterbacks have a couple of bad games. You in trouble.
Yep. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah, man. So we got a couple of other guys on the outside of the league looking in. We've been watching Isaiah Thomas go around and beat the hell out of people around the country all summer, scoring 90 and 89 and 70 different points against all types of people. I mean, from what I read, he's getting a trial with the Lakers and some other teams may be interested. Do we think he'll get another shot?
I think so. I think for me anyway, it was never a question of his skill. It's always his health. If he can stay healthy, which is a big if, then he definitely has NBA level talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, at least for me, it's hard to doubt that. I think he's always been overlooked due to his size and stuff like that. So maybe that's factoring in too. Plus, how much do you play him if you bring him in? Because a guy like that, I don't think he wants to necessarily come there and be the 14th, 15th man on the bench. Maybe initially, but you can get somebody else, one of these college kids, to just sit on the bench at the end of the bench, that is. So how much do you pay him? How much do you play him if you bring him in? But I think he still has NBA level talent, and I hope he gets a shot.
Yeah, I know he's supposedly tried out for Lakers and maybe Brooklyn, but Brooklyn got Patty Mills, gets to back up Kyrie. I want to see Patty Mills playing a two guard. Lakers got take none and a few other guys. But as far as him being in the league, he should have been in the league a long time ago, man. Guy has NBA talent, good experience, showed the ability to be a good teammate and be productive. So with that being said, it was my amazed is like, why is he out the league? Let alone as the skill set is diminishing. I don't think so. I would have Isaiah Thomas and Mac McClung right now. And a few other guys, who come in and who could take over a quarter, take over half of a game, have LeBron or KD rest, James Harden rest, Giannis rest a little bit. But he should be on the NBA roster, that's for sure.
I mean, the sad thing about it is that a lot of these guys are really good, and the way the league's going, it seems like it's going with like superstars and really young guys. Like the whole middle's getting squeezed out.
Right.
And it's like Isaiah Thomas is definitely talented enough to be in the league, but it's just like what you said. What's the fit? He would have to go to the Lakers, the Nets, teams that the Bucks, the Sixers, teams that's poised to position himself for the championship. I mean, realistically, I would like the Sixers. I would like the Celtics to give him another shot.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
That dude gave him that heart and soul, and that's how he got hurt.
Yeah.
Messing around playing with them when he shouldn't have played at all.
Yeah.
So I would like to see them give him another shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, Peyton Pritchard went out there and scored 78 points or something in the summer league too, but I don't know if right now they got Peyton Pritchard, and who was the point guard on Boston? Marcus Smart.
And Shooter, right? On that.
Shooter, he's there now.
Yeah, that might take them out of that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he should get an opportunity.
Another guy who comes to mind, and he's also from over there too. I think he kind of went out of the league prematurely. I thought he had NBA level talent when he left. That was Nate Robinson.
Yeah,
right. I thought Nate fell into that category where he probably should have got another shot at one point, and it just never happened.
What about Jamal Crawford?
Yep.
Yeah. And they're all from that Seattle area too, right?
Yeah. Jamal can play, man. Jamal can be buckets, man. He be good for Brooklyn off the bench, on a wall out, man. Guy that can score for sure.
I'm gonna tell you, listen, I got a feeling, to be honest with you, I think Kimber got lucky. Because if Kimber wouldn't have had this long-term deal and the Knicks wouldn't have had interest, he'd have been caught up in that mid-level exception range too. Because I think unfortunately the height of these guys and the size, people don't really want to give them that type of money anymore, just off the size. So I mean, after this contract with the Knicks, I mean, I love Kimber to death, and he can definitely play great. But I don't know how many teams would give him a max deal after this, or that level of deal.
Yeah, I don't see it. I see him, if anything, sticking around maybe this salary, right, $11-12 million range. I don't see him ever getting that, massive contract, $20+ million.
And it's just, I mean, a lot.
You look at it, even like Derrick Rose balled out, I thought, for the Knicks, right? And he got what, 12, 13 or whatever the Knicks signed him back for, which I think is good for him, but his skill set dictated that he should have got paid more than that.
Yeah. It seems like they're giving the money to superstars and young dudes. And a lot of people are getting contracts way earlier than I thought. Like, I don't understand how they keep giving out these young dudes. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate on anybody getting money, but some of these deals they be giving out to dudes, like, just off the top. Like, I think Marcus Smart's a good player, but 4 years for $77 million? I don't know about that. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
tough.
I guess because of the going rate, the going rate in the league, but from a talent perspective, I mean, look at how much they're gonna have to pay some of these other guys. Like when RJ becomes a free agent, what's he gonna want? 4 years for 132 or something like that? Because
these
prices
guys
don't go up dramatically.
Yeah, these guys are gonna get paid.
Yeah.
LaMelo, right? Assuming they don't get hurt or whatever it is, these guys are gonna be, and they just so happen to be in the league at the right time.
Yeah, did Trae Young get 4 years for 196 or something crazy like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he got paid recently too. Him and John Collins got paid recently.
Yeah, they got paid. So they only giving the superstars and young guys and like the guys who kind of like make up the whole middle of the team. They not really
Phoenix gonna have to pay Booker once his current deal is up, because he's getting paid now, but he's really gonna get paid super max money or whatever it is. Once
Joel Embiid, he just got one of those deals too.
Yeah, Joel Embiid just signed a super max.
Didn't Luka too sign one? Luka Doncic signed one too?
Yep, Luka Doncic 4 years for 200 or something like that. It's crazy. Numbers they throwing out is crazy. They said that Steph Curry signed his new deal, and he's the first player ever in NBA history to make $500 million off of player contracts.
Yeah, he got
$500 million off of just playing, not even endorsements, just off a contract.
He got 2 contracts that was $200+ million, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. That don't sound right. That don't sound right, man. God bless him, man.
What's crazy to put that in context? Steph Curry in his career has made more money than some of those old years we used to watch, where everybody in the league salary combined wasn't $500 million.
That's right.
Yeah, one player made more money in his career than the whole league for a year or something like that.
Absurd.
Like somebody said, which is true. Here's a question: how much money would you have to pay Jordan, Bird, and Magic right now, or Elijah Wan, or how much money would Shaq get? Shaq, Robinson, Elijah Wan, and Ewing. What would their salaries be like?
60 per or something.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about like the greatest guys that ever played a game. How much would Bill Russell command or Kareem command? And think about all this triple-double stuff. How much would Oscar Robertson get for season? So the amount of money that these guys are getting, like to see some of these guys talking about they can't, this not enough, they complaining or something. For everybody that does that, I say that I give them two names: Joe Smith and Dennis Schroeder. Joe Smith went out there. Remember, he had a deal for like $180-something million, messed it up, and then had to fight for 4 from the Timberwolves or something like that. They offer you $100 million, and you grew up and you was looking to have $100. Take the $100 million.
And remember, it all started with in terms of these massive deals with Big Dog, right? Remember when Big Dog was pushing for that $100 million? Everybody was making a big deal out of it.
Yep.
Now for these guys, these top guys, that is, they laugh at $100 million. You throw $100 million at them, it's like a joke for the top guys.
Yeah. What was it? Juwan Howard got the first $100 million record.
Yeah.
Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
I recall that vividly. Yeah, I recall that vividly. Waking up and hearing that's $100 million to pay basketball.
Think about
it. Man.
$1 million for Juwan Howard, and I thought he was good, but he wasn't even Chris Webber. So
right.
Right. $100 million. And
his first 3-4 good years was good. 2-3 years was good. He got that money, man, and I think he was just solid after that.
See, I think that's my concern with some of these contracts too. I get it the way the salaries change now. The younger dudes getting it because it makes sense. That's their real prime is probably from that 22, 23 to about 32, that age. After that, that's when the team starts taking the beating. Like realistically, listen, I like the Nets. Y'all know I'm a Nets fan, but giving KD and Harden and Kyrie another 4 years, basically they're gonna have to win in the next 5 or 6 years, or they're gonna be back in New Jersey.
Exactly.
The one thing I like though is like with the basketball contracts, at least they're usually max 4 or 5 years. Baseball is like 10. They signing dudes for like 10 years.
Yeah,
they ain't gonna be good past 3 or 4 of them. Most of them. Well, they giving guys 10 years. $400 million, $350 million. And then these guys play 5 years. And after that, they're almost useless.
You know why I think that is, though? Because baseball does people dirty. I'll give you a perfect example. Aaron Judge is, 28? And he is yet to get a big contract because of all these arbitration years and all this other foolishness, time and service. So by the time he gets to get that big deal, he gonna try to fight for it, and they're gonna have to give him a big deal at 30. At 30, he's gonna ask for a 10-year deal. And it's like somebody will give it to him. So it's one of those things like, do you give it to him or do you let somebody else take him? He's going to get an 8 to 10-year deal at 30 because I think his contract is up either this year or next year, whatever this arbitration year is.
You know what's funny, fellas? I went to the game yesterday with my kids and a good friend of mine. Okay. And we actually talked about this particular topic right now about Judge getting his money. And his age coming up pretty soon. Yeah. And how much you give him. It's kind of fun how we talk about it now on the show. We agree with that. We can't do 10 mil. I mean 10 years. I'm sorry, 10 years. Can't even do 10 years. Because he's 30 years old. And right now we got a Stanton. So we learned the hard way from Stanton. We see the injuries with Albert Pujols. So I would say maybe 5 years.
6. Don't say 6. You're not taking that.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's about the money, though. You know, so you might overpay him to take the 6. So I might have to give him an extra $1 million for a 5-year deal than give him what I actually want to have a 10-year deal. So
for 5 or 6, you're gonna have to give him about $250 million for 5
right, and I'm willing to do that for Judge for 5 years.
That's fair enough. I think he would take that for a short-term deal. Yeah,
and I think he'll be productive in 5 years because let's say he don't play the outfield, he could be DH for sure. Yeah, exactly. So I think he'll be productive for 5 years, but for 10 years. That kind of hurt me with long-term wise for sure. If he was young, I said like 25 or something like that, 24, I would go for it though.
Even the young guys, though, to me, I don't feel confident giving anybody a 10-year deal because even guys 24 years old, how long do they actually last at the level they play at? That warranted giving them the contract. They usually don't stick around and be that productive for 10 years,
So I got to say the last couple of guys they gave it to, 2 of them I think will be good because of the age, like Tatis Jr., Guerrero Jr., those guys are like 22 and 21. So I can live with those deals. But the shortstop that went to San Diego, I think that was a bad deal. What's his name again?
Machado?
Yeah, I don't think that 10-year deal was a good deal to give Machado a 10-year deal or whatever. 8 years. I think he got 8 years or 10 years. I don't think that one. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player, but
he's playing good.
That 28-year-old range, right? 28, 29.
Something crazy,
Yeah. But when you talk about like Guerrero, Tatis, and you got a couple of other young guys, like right now, think about it. Even though if he wasn't injured a lot, the Mets would have the best deal ever. Because that Jake DeGrom deal, he's not making a lot of money comparatively to his skill set.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was healthy all the time, he could probably get double the money that he's getting right now.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying right now. Like you said, these guys, 22 years old, what's the odds of them staying healthy and productive for 10 straight years?
Well, I think Tatis got hurt already.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? He's already hurt.
Yeah. I think
granted, it's nothing that he won't bounce back from, right? I'm sure he'll bounce back, but that's what I'm saying. Over the course of 10 years, something is bound to happen. Like, I don't see him finishing, any of those guys finishing a full 10 years with the same franchise, to be honest with you.
It's
towards
tough.
the tail end of that, it'll look like the Stanton deal, right? Where they'll find some other team to try to offload it. Even though the guy is still young, I don't think he'll be as productive for 10 straight years. And if he is, more power to him. The guy is pretty much guaranteed to be a Hall of Famer then.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If he could remain at that level for 10 years or close to it, then you're looking like Albert Pujols, right? Towards the tail end, Pujols was pretty much done, right? But he stuck around. He pretty much lived up to his contract, I would say, Pujols. But not too many guys are Albert Pujols,
No.
Exactly.
No, I mean, you think about it. If you can get a guy that for 10 years that can average 30 home runs and like say 290 across, you got your money.
Yeah, I would say
so.
Yeah.
Guys right now is getting praised batting 270 right now. I'm like, come on, you serious? I grew up with guys with 20 Green and Rob Carew, these guys in Maryland, Keith Hernandez batting 330, Wade Boggs batting 330, 340. You guys getting praised for batting 270.
Dude,
So
to be honest with you, I think there's only maybe like 8 or 10 guys that's batting over 300 in the whole major leagues right now. I
yeah,
don't
you
think
said
you
it
got many
before.
batting over 300 at all,
Right,
Yeah.
you mentioned it before.
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. And I think it's one dude. I think the top dude is like at 320, and then it jumps down from 320 to like 303. A bunch of guys in 30 the single digits.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I put it this way: I thought that they was trying to say by switching the spin rate it would generate more hits, but I don't know if it's analytics and guys are just swinging for the fences or what. But hitting is suffering this year.
Yeah, right now, league leaders, the two league leaders are both batting 319.
Mm,
So yeah, hitting is definitely down.
yeah.
Think about it this way: if Wade Boggs batted 319, he'd be an off year. He'd be upset.
Exactly.
319.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also too, you gotta keep in mind, a lot of these stadiums are small now, man. So a lot of these guys trying to home runs, man. Ain't too many Comerica Park Field like Detroit and also like Arizona. Because they have big ass stadiums, from my language, right? But other than that, there's these fields that's like parking lot stadiums, man. So
Yeah, it's
you
only
got up there, trying to hit home runs, man. It's just trying to just get on base and get good contact.
it's only 12 guys right now batting over 300 in the entire league.
12. Wow.
That's crazy. 12. 12 guys batting over 300. The last time we seen that had to be the 80s, right?
Probably
It was more than that, man.
Yeah, that is true. In the 80s, it was more than that because you think about it. Boggs and Mattingly, Puckett. You had a lot of guys.
You going on and on. George Brett. Even the teams that wasn't too good. For Model 10 team wasn't too good. Had guys batting in the 320s, man.
Yeah, that's true. These guys just can't hit.
Right. Home run or strikeout, either or.
Yeah. The strikeout numbers are astronomical. I'm looking like, damn, people are like, this is insane. I remember I used to count against you. Now it's almost like a throwaway stat. He struck out, so what?
Yeah, don't look at Stanton's numbers.
Oh, look, RBIs are down too.
Reem, do not look at Stan's numbers, man. Don't do it to yourself, man. Don't do it to yourself, man.
I bet you he got more strikeouts than hits, probably.
Listen, I can imagine so close to it, man. I ain't gonna do it.
It's insane. So right now, I gotta say, Ohtani almost has to win the MVP.
But he's great, though, man.
Yeah,
he's great. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, it's just bad, man. It's real bad. So looking at some of this stuff, we had an interesting talk about. There's been a couple of brawls in football games. The preseason practices. I don't know. I think I sent you the pictures of Sterling Sharp and the cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Even the punch. So I think Theo brought this up. Is it good to actually have these scrimmages like this? Because it's just fights breaking out everywhere.
I think on one hand it's good, like from the competitive standpoint, these guys get all psyched up, and it's hard to. Granted, they have fights among their own team, right? The beginning of training camp or whatever it wasn't the Giants players fighting each other, so you see that all the time. So I think it's good on one hand when they have the joint scrimmages. So these guys, you practice hard, right? So you want to compete and hit other teams at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is getting a bit out of control with these fights. So I think I don't know. I like the idea of it, but something has to give, I would say.
Yeah, it's more occurring than none more than ever back years ago. That's for sure. These guys, they tired, they're restless, they're sore, and coaches going on 2-hour training and this that, and the third. So, and finally, you want to hit somebody too, man, for sure. You can't hit your own teammate. Reed the quarterback, Kenyon's running back. You guys can't be touched, man. I'm a D tackle. I'm gonna hit you guys, man. So we have the opportunity to pebble teams and really hit somebody, man. A good contact in, so to speak, man. Yeah, why not go for it, man?
Yeah,
I ain't too mad at it. Yeah, I ain't too mad at it. These guys is ready to hit something, man. All these hard practices over and over again.
After a while, two-hand touch gets a little old, I'm sure, to these guys.
Right.
Flag football, get out there and work out for weeks, running up and down, hitting the weights to you better not touch the guy with the red jersey on. Yeah. I think that's what happened with the Giants. He canceled practice because I think somebody hit one of the quarterbacks or somebody. They got in a fight, so he canceled the practice.
So, yeah.
I mean,
something crazy, yeah.
Yeah, but how does Jones end up in the bottom of the pile?
Yeah, exactly.
If he wasn't there, it would have been no issue. But since he's bottom of that damn pile, it was a serious issue, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, how the quarterback end up on the bottom of the pile?
Unreal.
And that's another thing, is they were saying like that whole thing about he gained a bunch of respect and everything else for doing that, but which I could see, right? How he would gain respect in the locker room, but at the same time, I'm sure the guys up in the front office ain't worried about him gaining respect by jumping in the pile, you know.
Right.
That's your franchise quarterback, or at least the guy who's being billed as the franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy. So some of these other competitions in the league for quarterback and different things are interesting. Some of them I get, and then some of them are a little surprising. Like Urban Meyer still hasn't named Trevor Lawrence the starting quarterback for the Jaguars. I mean, me personally, looking at just what I've seen from the preseason game with them, I could see where I would consider not doing it, and it's not because of his play. I watched him get destroyed by the opposing team, like the line just folded up. So, what do you guys think of who he should name starter, or will Trevor Lawrence be the starter?
I wonder if it's one of those motivational type of tactics, right, where you don't want to necessarily hand the guy the job early on, and then the guy may not come out there and be as motivated. I wonder if it's one of those things, or if it's legitimate where Urban Meyer is conflicted as to what to do, whether you start him, Lawrence, that is, or just let him sit down a season or a couple of games and just watch. It's an interesting point. I think at the end of the day, he'll be starting now week 1.
Yeah, I would start Minshew for sure. Because at the end of the day, you want to win games. Trevor Lawrence have a long career ahead of him. And, I'd rather Lawrence get the job because Minshew is not playing well. God forbid he gets injured. But I think he's more seasoned, more ready quarterback. Now, the skill set definitely is Trevor Lawrence for sure.
Yeah.
But right now, it's about winning games and who will have more experience. So, if the guy is playing evenly, I'll go with the veteran for now. Until the veteran falls apart, I'll give it to Trevor Lawrence and start the Trevor Lawrence show.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to start Minshew, especially when you look at overall that team, because if they're not going to be able to run the ball and they're not going to be able to protect the quarterback, you can't put that much money into a guy from laying on his back. I got to see the highlights, and it looked like, okay, he played 2 series, and he spent most of the time running around on his back. And this is with the first string line. So, they got a lot of money invested in this guy for him to get smashed up. We've seen a lot of guys get smashed up.
Right.
Spent a lot of money on. So it might be better. Listen, it's not good for Minshew.
Right.
I throw Minshew out there to the Wolves. Listen, this line got to get better. He gives us the best chance to win right now. And like you said, when he gets smashed up, we got to put Trevor in, and he's got to go in. But who knows what he's going to do? In other Jaguar news, Tim Tebow actually got cut, which is he never did. Me personally, I got to say, I don't think he ever really deserved the opportunity, because there's tons of other guys from college and from teams that were tight ends that actually played that position. But, I guess by being a nice guy and knowing Urban Meyer, he got that shot. But I will give Urban Meyer credit for making the best decision for the team.
Yeah, football is one of those sports, man, where that nice guy stuff, I don't know. It's only going to get you but so far. But Tebow seems to get more opportunities than anybody that I can think of between baseball, football. I'm sure next week he'll probably be on a minor league team or something. Or maybe he'll be in the G League this year. Either this guy has a lot of connections or there's something going on. They seem to love this guy. I've never really been a Tim Tebow hater. I know he turned off a lot of people being originally the over religious type of thing, and I know people were getting upset with him with that type of stuff. I never really cared about any of that stuff. I thought he was great as a college football player. But beyond that, I never really thought he was talented enough to play NFL or Major League Baseball. So, like you said, Urban Meyer did the right thing. He really didn't get caught up in, hey, this guy is, Tim Tebow. Let's bring him in for the season, week 1 or whatever it is. He just made the move, and it's time for them to move on.
If Urban did the right thing, you should never give this guy an invite. I mean, this guy's been in the league 7 years, man. Maybe at least 7 years, at least.
Yeah.
And then you come out of 7 years not playing football, going to play at the highest level, and they're going to play a new position, which is tight end. You didn't bring him in as a quarterback, like they do over there in New Orleans with the Hill kid, That I understand, but we're still even doing that. I mean, why get guy an invitation, man? I don't understand that, man. Maybe you're a control freak. You want to let people know you're in charge. I don't know why we do that though, but I'm quite sure you love Tebow to death. This is why you invited him. Yeah. Tebow he's an athlete. He got to play sports, but maybe certain sport he can't play high level. Like his match was college football. That was his max.
Yeah.
And I understand. He had that pass that beat Pittsburgh when homeboy ran for 80 yards. But that was a 5-yard snap pass. That like he threw a bomb and beat Pittsburgh, caught them sleeping, and he come off guard and he won. And he's known for that one play more than anything else in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think Urban just maybe a control freak and just maybe have so much love for the dude, want to give him a chance. So, but have him try out for a team, been away with 8 years, and playing a new position where you gotta engage with linebackers and defensive ends who's bigger than you, stronger than you. This is why you miss tackles out there, man. You sure you know what you was doing out there. So I bet Urban Meyer, man, more than Tim Tebow.
Yeah. It's funny, you mentioned like with him, Tim Tebow playing the quarterback and stuff like that. When he came in the league, they really didn't seem like they knew what to do with him. I mean, right. We got a lot of like different like things going on and stuff like in the league as far as who gets to start, who gets to sit, and different quarterbacks and stuff. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to see any of the box scores or look at the Cam Newton, Mac Jones thing. So out of those guys, I mean, I got to say, from what I see, they're both playing really well. I mean, do you think, looking at Mac Jones, looking at Lance Fields, looking at these guys, and even looking at Lance and Fields, who do you think will be, even with Lawrence, who's going to be the first person out of those guys to get the start?
I'm going with Fields. I'm going with Fields.
I will lean Fields for now. I'm not quite sure because right now he's getting first team reps. Yeah. So that says a lot right now. He's getting first team reps. Mac Jones is playing very good, but he's not getting first team reps, but he's playing good for sure. Yeah. He's actually playing just as good as Cam Newton is playing. I would assume Belichick will go with Cam early. Yeah. And then I guess when Cam has 1 or 2 snafus, then Mac is in there forever. Yeah. But I will lean towards Fields to get his first NFL start.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys because I think it's an easier succession in that way. I think, like you said, Cam Newton is playing right now. He's playing too well to be a veteran and to just lose his job in camp. Mm-hmm. So he'll get every opportunity to go out there and play, and if he messes up on the field, he'll lose his job. Then I think Trey Lance, I don't ever think he would ever get the start right away.
Trey Lance is showing flashes right now, so yeah, that's cool.
And they love Garoppolo, so I couldn't see them moving on. But he'll get to play because we know what happens with Garoppolo. By game 6, somebody hit Garoppolo, and then Trey Lance will be in, and that might be a transition for him. Right. But Bills, I mean, it's not much to succeed Andy Dalton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like he's going against world-beating competition. And notice none of us said that Andy Dalton's out there killing in the preseason. You didn't hear that come from anybody. So realistically, I mean, his succession is nobody. Okay, Andy Dalton. Only reason Andy Dalton played is because Dak got hurt, else he would have never seen the field last year. So you
Right.
go from a guy who wasn't going to be a starter, that was definitely going to the bench, and and now he's there. They basically gave him a starting position because he wouldn't play. Because it just put it this way, there's a reason they haven't traded Nick Foles yet. Because who knows? It might not be Nick Foles that's getting moved. It might be Andy Dalton that's getting moved.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, I could see Phil's definitely being the starter there. Whatever. It might be. Unless they want some kind of uproar, I would think they wouldn't do a week 1, but I would not be surprised if week 1 Phil's was the starter.
Yeah, agreed. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be. So one of the other things was saying, but just off going to into commentating and stuff, off the topic of football and everything. I'm sure you guys all heard that Max Kellerman is supposedly not going to be on First Take anymore.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me because I like the dynamic with him and Stephen A. I know sometimes Max says some stuff. Yeah, I know sometimes he says some stuff that's a little off the wall, but so does Stephen A. I think they kind of sort of balance each other out, in my opinion. So I think he was there for 5 or 6 years. I like Max Kellerman being there more than who was it? Skip Bayless, was it? Yeah. He was a little strange, He's not bad, but I kind of like the dynamic between Stephen A. and Max Kellerman.
Yeah, well, back in the day, it was Skip and Stephen were very disrespectful guys. They were very disrespectful duo on TV, man. I'm sure they both calmed down. We all know now. But a little surprising. I don't know if Max is leaving to go to NBC. I heard that rumor. I don't know if it's they want him to do his own radio show. I heard that too as well. So, but I'm not so too surprised. He's been here for a couple of years. He made his name outside of boxing aspect of sports.
Yeah.
So he have a nice fan base. He said a lot of off the wall stuff, like he'd rather have Iguodala take the last shot than Steph Curry, stuff like that. But that being said, I'm just curious who they're gonna replace him with more than anybody else, man. So
I thought I heard that they might not, at least for now. I'm sure eventually they will, but right away they don't plan on replacing him at all. They plan on just having guests come in, I think, occasionally or something like that.
Okay, that'll work. I remember seeing a report for that you guys were talking about. I seen a report how initially it put them in Max and Keyshawn Johnson doing a show together before First Take. So that may happen again. Who knows right now? But
she's not bad, but the person who should have been cut to me is Molly.
Yeah, I can't do Molly.
I never thought she had a real role. I thought when they're having good conversations, she just intervenes and kind of granted, I know her role is to kind of keep certain things moving along so they stay on schedule, but I think she has a habit of interrupting at the wrong times.
They've been sucking her out a little bit with I forget the lady from the from wrestling or something.
Mm-hmm.
They've been sucking her out a little bit with her coming on.
To me, she's been doing a better job in terms of she doesn't try to be a third wheel, so to speak.
Thank you. I cannot do Molly Quinn. I cannot. I'm not a fan of her at all. I'm not a fan. And if you go online, there's episodes where she acts like she's a third part of the show. I mean, when she really not. Intervening, like you said, cutting people off and being overly voiceful with her opinion. And listen, we're here to see Max and Stephen A. talk their stuff.
Yeah. I will tell you this. I gotta tell you, as long as they don't say Kendrick Perkins, we won't have no problems. I don't want to hear Kendrick Perkins really ever. I don't think he does anything.
Listen, if you love LeBron James, you want to hear Kendrick Perkins.
Exactly. LeBron James is the best person to ever play basketball.
KP's your man. You want to hear that talk. That's for sure.
I don't want to hear nothing about no. Like some of the people will be nice.
Paul
Like people
Pierce.
get to probably
Right,
be like
exactly.
Ryan
No,
Clark.
you say, I'm sorry, what did you say? Read about Paul Pierce, what you
Yeah, I
say?
can tell you it won't be Paul Pierce.
Oh, yeah, hell no.
Yeah, it won't be Paul Pierce. But
Uh-uh.
if Paul Pierce said he make more money outside of the league, this is plate money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other girl is the moderator girl is Charlie Arno. I think she was in wrestling or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so she fills in a lot. But I mean, some of these people I wouldn't mind seeing, like Dominic Foxworthy pop in sometime. Ryan Clark. I
Yeah.
like the other Marcus Spears is pretty cool. I like him.
Spears is good.
Yeah,
Foxworthy is good.
yeah,
Ryan Fox cool. I
yeah.
like Foxworthy and I like Spears.
I don't know what basketball. Damian Woody's not bad. I don't know what basketball player that don't. I know the
Is this guy part of
Perkins
there?
thing.
It's gonna be Ryan Hollins, man. That's gonna be basketball. Ryan Hollins, man. That's gonna be,
I hope
man.
I
so
like
because
him.
if he pops in with different people, I hope it's not Keegan Perkins for basketball, man. I don't want to hear nothing he got to say.
What
Yeah.
about this guy, Richard Jefferson?
Yeah,
That's possible. Yeah.
He's not too bad. I can
He's
tell
not
you
too
another
bad.
guy who I'm sure they don't necessarily want to throw in there, especially not as a permanent. Jay Williams, right?
yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna.
he's another guy with these off the wall
Yeah.
statements.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
Jay,
him,
like,
but some of his stuff is
right. Some of he's he's bugging sometimes, man. He be bugging.
Some of these guys they put in like I don't know, but yeah, we know it's not gonna be Paul Pierce. That's for sure.
Yeah. Paul's out of there.
Yeah, Paul Pierce. Yeah, I think he might be the only person ever to get let go like that.
yeah, his exodus was wild. You know,
Yeah. I mean, what was he thinking? Like, come on, man. You could do what you do, man, but you got to advertise it on social media, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And dude, the thing is they was gonna let him keep his job. They asked him just to not do it or take it down. He said no.
man.
So he said, "What's it? But I do in my private time." Like, dude,
Yeah,
I think
that's when you know.
somebody said you work for Disney or something.
That's when you know, fellas, when you got money, when you can say that to ESPN. That's when you know you got paper. When you can say that. His paper's long.
Yeah, you work for Disney. You only gonna be able to do a certain amount of things. They'll suspend anybody. Well, I know some other people that ain't coming back. It ain't gonna be Jeremy Hill. She's not coming back.
Yeah. She's too controversial.
I tell you what, though, you know what's sad? Listen, I think that her controversy cost Michael Smith, though.
It did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
He was pretty good. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's good.
Yeah, but I think they seen them as like a team, and when she went, they got rid of him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I thought he was good. I thought they both were good.
Yeah, I thought they both were good. I just think that she got mixed up because remember she got suspended first, and then so I think she got mixed up in a lot of different things.
Yeah, politics.
I know, like the Maria Taylor thing was a little like losing her the way they did, right? It was like that weird contract negotiation thing where they couldn't agree to terms. So I don't know what's going on with ESPN, but they need to sort it out.
Well, they got another thing going on too. I forgot what's her name. The other lady's retiring. What's her name? She's retiring. NBA. What's her name? One of the biggest NBA announcers, the lady one, the one that everybody loves.
Doris Burke.
She's retiring. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Doris Burke?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Doris Burke.
Yeah, but you know what, fellas? ESPN has a problem with diversity, man, in the company and how they handle things, and outside in the outside world. They do things last minute. That's why I wonder why a lot of the so-called African American employees are not there, or they're leaving, or unhappy at ESPN. They do a bad job of handling diversity in any aspect of life.
Plus, they had the other female anchor, right, who got into that controversy, right, where she recorded or whatever it is. So
Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be looking to extend her role anywhere else anytime soon.
The thing that's going to suck is they might have to. You lost Maria Taylor, Doris Burke retiring, and you got to. They don't have. It's not a lot of people out there.
Right.
They got the other young.
She's the one that's on the floor all the time. They seem to be giving her better roles now.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me too. They give her a chance too.
I think she's pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty good. But The funniest thing is I could tell you a funny story. It's a guy at my job that he was talking about when he was in college. He used to play on a team like with his brother and he said a lady. He said they used to beat everybody up in college in 3-on-3. I'm like, word. He was like, yeah, the lady was Doris Burke. Yeah, Doris Burke was
Wow.
playing with in school.
I can believe that.
Yeah, she was killing people on the court.
The one thing I used
Yeah.
to love was the Doris Burke and Pop interviews, right? Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
For some reason, they used to have these like strange interactions, interviews. Yeah, it almost seemed like I don't know if he was purposely giving her a hard time or it used to be like he's always short with everybody in his interviews, Pop. But for some reason, with her, it used to be a little awkward dynamic there.
Yeah, extra.
Some of his stuff is crazy though. Like I remember her interviewing him, and in between quarter ones. It seems like he hates those more than anything. So they asked him something like, he's like, your team is down by 10. What's the plan? What's the strategy? The strategy is to score more points, and that's it. Score more points.
Yeah.
It's like, so what do you guys got to do to win? Score more points than the opponent. Yeah, he's
great.
Pop's crazy. He's definitely got some stuff. So in the boxing world, we had what we thought was a stand-in in Ugas for Errol Spence, who turned out to be basically, from what I watched, he kind of dominated Pacquiao or something. I mean, I got to give Ugas his credit, but what's next for Manny?
Hopefully retirement. Imagine if it was Spence or one of these other guys, he might have been embarrassed. I thought he was beat soundly, but he might have been knocked out there. So I hope he retires.
Yeah, he had nothing to prove. He's 42 years old. All the time caught up to him. He looked slow. Didn't move as much, and he's lucky. He's lucky in forced bench. He probably got knocked out, dropped. Really got hurt out there because he was getting hit, man, with Ugas, man. Ugas was hitting him. He got jabbed. I'm quite sure Spence is a power puncher, man, and a little more accurate. But man, you're not going to improve. Time for him to move on to the next phase. Let him be a politician or businessman of some sort. You know what I'm saying? Move on from boxing, man. Don't try to fight anybody and get a cheap win and then retire. You got nothing to prove, man. Just go out respectfully, like everybody has for you, man. And that's it. As far as Spence is concerned, it looked like Spence lost a lot of money, man.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Spence lost a lot of money. I think I saw his tweet, man. He had a frown face. This is one emoji with a frown face. So Ugas right now, congrats to him. He's a tough guy. Got boxing skills. He fought Sean Porter a few years ago, and a lot of people thought he beat Sean Porter.
Yeah,
a lot of people thought he beat Sean Porter. So I'm happy for him. This one now he could cash out, man, against what was next? Was it Crawford, Porter, or Spence? Right now he's a man right now.
Yeah,
he beat Manny. He's the man.
I could see somebody wanting to fight him right now too. Wanting to jump in there right now because listen, I think a lot of these bigger name guys might have some leverage as far as on the payday. So I think that they want to. Now will be a good time to try to get in a fight for him because if he goes out there and beats any one of those other guys we just named, it's going to be tough from that point on.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's definitely so. What I don't want to see Manny do is I hope he doesn't do it with all the emergence of these silly boxing leagues and these BS matches set up for money.
Yeah.
Don't go fighting none of those Paul brothers for $35 million. Please don't do any of that stuff because that seems like what the celebrity boxing league and all this foolishness or something. I mean, don't get me wrong. It seems like they offer these ridiculous paydays because not that I want to report it. Lamar Odom is supposed to be fighting Riddick Bowe next month or October. I mean, listen to what I just said. Lamar Odom fighting Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe's an ex-champion that's washed. He got to be how many? Last time we spoke to Riddick Bowe or heard from Riddick Bowe, I love him to death, but he shouldn't be fighting anybody.
Yeah, agree.
And Lamar Odom, what type of condition? Lamar Odom when did he become a boxer? I think he beat somebody up there. I don't know who that was or something. And
That fight looked like my 15-year-old, 7-year-old fighting in the house. I watched that fight. I was like, this look like my two sons, 15-year-old and 17-year-old, 7-year-old. Like, like one's taller than the other, and the big one can't really fight. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. You know, so he ain't a fighter. The younger one is more questionable, but he's just like just wheeling his arms around. It's like my two sons fighting right now in the ring, man. So, but listen, if people don't pay to look like a fool, man, go ahead, man. Ain't gonna be me.
And the
Manny's gonna be fighting Blueface next week.
Yeah,
right.
You seen that, right? Yeah, Blueface fighting people. I'm like, what's going on here? I mean, I guess if you got a big enough name and they're gonna pay you $20 million, I mean,
right.
$20 million is $20 million or something. I'm sure, as much as it was hilarious that Nate Robinson got knocked out, I think he probably got $1 million or so for that.
Yeah.
Easy. Well, Nate has actually proved that everybody shouldn't try this.
Nate haven't said a tweet, a Facebook post, or nothing since it happened, man. Nothing, man. Nothing.
You ain't heard nothing. Even
nothing. I think about it, fellas. Nothing like a Facebook post, on an Instagram tweet, or whatever. Nothing.
Nothing from me.
Nothing from him, man.
The craziest thing is everybody in the NBA was behind him, and when he got knocked out, dude, that was like hilarious to watch the tweets and everything about damn Nate.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell right away he couldn't fight, man. You can tell right away he couldn't fight. How his arm was being situated, man. I had his arms up, like, oh boy, this ain't good.
But we got to make sure Manny stays out of that craziness or something.
Yeah, agree.
That's definitely not where we want to see him.
Agree.
Yeah. So another thing came up interesting about Naomi Osaka. So she, in the process of being interviewed by a reporter, what's her name? They asked her what's her name about her. Obviously it's well known that she has like anxiety and different stuff. So they asked her about how she balanced her media appearances and her own personal outlet, being in class of the media. So it's basically one of those things where, in order for you to make the money to do the things you need to do, you need to be in the media, and you use them for that way for yourself. But when they want, her to reciprocate in their way, is a kind of like an anxious situation. I mean, and then supposedly her agent put out a statement calling the reporter a bully. I don't know if the reporters did anything wrong. I mean, it may be an opinion that people don't want to hear, but I don't know.
I don't think so. Plus, they gave her like an opt out of the question, right? Somebody who was there asked, all right, next question, we can move on from that one, and she said, no, I want to answer it. And she asked the reporter to repeat it. He might have repeated it once or twice. I don't think he was being pushy either, to be honest with you. The reporter, I definitely didn't sense any bully, anything. He just asked that question. I think she has a lot going on. She already has anxiety. I think her father,
hate, yeah,
he may be partially Haitian or from Haiti or something. There's something there with Haiti, and I think all of those things combined at the same time. Plus, she already had she opted out, right, of some tournaments, and so I think she has a lot going on. And I think it just hit her all at that moment. I don't think the reporter was at fault in any way, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the reporter wasn't wrong, but he could come out being insensitive to the situation, what she's going through more than anything else. Because she's a kid at the end of the day. Was she 15, 16? Ho, she even know her age?
Yeah,
19, okay, 19, I'm sorry, 19, yeah. But in our world, she's still a kid, in the grown folks' world right now. So I think he came up more being sensitive than, I guess, being a bully. I won't call him a bully because that's his job to ask tough questions. And that being said, she I guess I would assume that she tried to answer it and figure it go away. Yeah. When it started reoccurring in different formats, and he kept repeating himself, it kind of hit her and annoyed her and bothered her emotionally. She kind of broke down a little bit. That's what it is. But other than that, I'm not. I wouldn't. If I'm a reporter, I wouldn't ask that kind of question like that. If I did ask it one time and leave it at that, But to my opinion, it came on more being insensitive more than anything else.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, she asked them to repeat it.
Right, exactly.
Because they were saying, hey, next question, you just move on. Because at first she kind of, the way he initially phrased it, you could tell she didn't like it because she asked them right away. She said, well, what do you mean by that? So then he repeated it again, and then she still kind of sort of seemed like she didn't fully understand what he was saying. And that's when the other person kind of like intervened and was trying to move on, and she jumped in and was like, no, it's okay. I want to answer it. And I think she might have asked them to repeat it again.
Right.
And she's 23.
Okay.
She's still not that old, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do think she did the right thing trying to get in front of it because, like Theo said, it's going to keep coming up. So at least if I could try to address it now, I'll try to address it. But I really think that, she's real fragile at this point, like her mental state and stuff like that. So it's probably a level of sensitivity. But when I look at it, like the way we see media and the way younger people see media is different too. She probably doesn't see social media like he's talking about the presence and all that stuff. She doesn't see that as media. They see that as just playing on the phone or whatever, or whatever. Even though it serves as a way, to help promote them, they don't. It's a big difference between posting on social media than having a conversation.
Yeah, press conference.
Press conference. That's posting on social media is you having a one-way conversation with people outside where they don't get the right to ask questions. Somebody asking you questions that's personal and things that you may not want to answer is completely different. So that's where the guy probably didn't understand that part of it. Like,
another thing I'll say is that, like when these guys or girls for that matter, right? When they opt out of questions, it's also not viewed, in a good light either. So if she would have took that way out and said next question, I don't want to answer it, then they would have jumped all over. Somebody else would have had something to say about that because we all know, as much as I get on Kyrie Irving, right? When Kyrie opts out of questions, people don't like it. know. They feel like he should be obligated, being who he is, he should be obligated to discuss whatever they want to discuss when they want to discuss it. So if she would have opted out of the questions, she may have took some backlash for that. So that might have been on her mind too, why she said, you know what, I might as well just try to answer it as best I can. And I don't even know if she fully understood the question. I do think her agent may have jumped the gun though, by trying to go to the bully route and everything else, unless there's some history there. I don't know if there's some history between this particular reporter and her or with other people or something like that. Maybe the guy has a history. I don't know. But just based on that single incident, I didn't see any bullying really.
I mean, what's interesting, we've seen this before, like Ricky Williams, remember he used to do interviews with his helmet on because he didn't want to, he had anxiety or something, so he wasn't big on interviews. And then you had guys like Marshawn Lynch who just didn't want to do the interview, saying stuff like Skittles is the answer. Skittles. What's the answer?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not like it's not people who didn't want to answer them who blew them off and, didn't want to answer the questions. It's just that I think you're right, Mr. Reem, about the fact that people feel like because they ask you questions, you obligated to get an answer. Well, we pay to watch you and you get paid, and it's this misconception that the public pays the players. They do indirectly, but the guy who writes the check pays the players. Now, if the guy that owns the Nets, Joe Tsai, asks him a question, I'm pretty much sure he knows the answer to that question.
Right.
But the guy in the media room, I don't gotta really answer you. You want to ask why I wasn't at the game yesterday? Well, I think one time he answered this. Well, the owner and management was sufficient with my response. So that's all I'm gonna tell you is everybody who needed to know knew where I was yesterday.
Plus, I immediately, as we talk about this, I immediately think of the recent Sha'Carri Richardson race, right? Where it's like the minute that race ended, they couldn't wait to shove a microphone in her face. She was completely out of breath and everything else. And she gave them what they were looking for, I think, with those sound bites, right? Of you can hate on me and this and that. That's all they wanted, right? They caught it at the right time. But I think stuff like that also has to stop where she just finished competing. At least give her a minute to catch her breath, gather her thoughts. But it's like they couldn't wait to put that microphone in her face.
Yeah, that was really bad because, I mean, she had to be hurt in the fact that coming in last. I mean, I personally wouldn't have expected that. I hoped for better because, you know, I remember people were putting up fights and trying to do to the point where people were talking about boycotting watching the Olympics because she didn't get to participate. But now, I mean, it's kind of like it's sad because it's almost like a vindication thing for the people who didn't put her in there. Like, well, look what happened.
She got smoked.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody that was in that
no
thing,
pun intended.
her
Right?
competitors. Yeah, those are all her competitors. So y'all were fighting to get her there, and look what would have happened if we would have put her there.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, after that too, as well as like, it wasn't like she lost the race. She came in last place, man.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't.
And it's like the time between you being suspended and right now, how serious was your training?
Yeah,
You were like in fourth place or fifth place or sixth place. You came in 10th place,
last.
and last place. It was clear cut. You was in last place, man.
You
So
12 for 10. But the crazy thing about that is that it's like, and that just goes to show you people's drive. Because if I didn't make the Olympics and these people, all the people that ran the Olympics, and I knew I was facing them, I'd have been working so hard to beat these people to prove that I should have been there or something. Instead, you go out there and get your ass basically destroyed by the. Now, you know they laughing too. You know that. Because there's one thing about it. It was a girl on that team that had to take her place. Yeah. So that girl right there that smoked her like, yeah, you thought you should have been there ahead of me.
And I think she's another one who she's going through a lot. I would say it may have been too soon for her to get back on the racetrack.
Possible. Yeah, big stage. That's true.
Yeah, I think she's going through a lot.
I would like to think that's that and hope that is it because it's definitely not good coming last. Like losing is losing. Yeah.
The lady who came in second, Sha'Carri, had finished faster than her in two separate races. The lady who won, Sha'Carri had never raced against her at all. But the one who came in second place, Sha'Carri ran against her twice. Neither one of them came in first place in those races, but Sha'Carri finished a few positions ahead of her. So, I mean, it's one of those things. I hope she does come back, though, because she's certainly talking a big game again. So I hope she comes back because she's doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, be more serious this time.
And I know she's notorious for those like slow starts off the block, too. So there's something definitely going on with her training, too. Either she needs a new trainer or they got to sort that out because these women are too fast for her to get off to slow starts and play catch up. She could do that with, us here. But not those women.
Right. The woman that won, though, I mean, she's the fastest woman in the world. That's the lady from Jamaica. Yeah, she's the fastest woman in the world.
She posted the second fastest time of all women in 100 meters during that race.
Yeah,
so you can't she went out there and lost to a bunch of scrubs.
Yeah, she lost a world class.
But I agree with Thea coming in last.
Well, you got to figure like all of these
wasn't scrubs, but she shouldn't have been last place.
Right.
But it's funny because you think about it. Everybody in that race we had the 4x100 Jamaican team runners, the 4x100 USA runners, basically her primary competition, and she came in last against them and a couple of other people. So there's no way there's no way if she went to the Olympics unless there's something really weighing on her that it would have necessarily, changed the outcome.
Certainly not looking like it.
I'll tell you the truth, I don't think anybody would beat that Jamaican women's team anyway. Looking at how fast they're going, it'd have been rough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it'd have been real
top 3 in the Olympics and top 3 in that race.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I think it would have been real tough trying to beat them. They got like world-class sprinters. So
I wonder if and I know Sha'Carri is known for her 100 meters, but I wonder if long term, because she's only 21, I wonder if long term unless they sort out whatever it is with those slow starts, if she would be better off running the 200 meters.
Might be.
Because you got enough time, right, to try to catch up with those slow starts in the 200 meters. 100 meters, it's not too much time to play catch up. Like if that race was another 100 meters, would she have finished in last? 400 meters may be too long. That's where you get into Allison Felix territory, right? That's like her specialty. Even though she came, I think she might have came in last, right? At that same tournament, Sha'Carri came in. I think she may have finished last in the 400. So they both,
Basically, our track team needs to be rebuilt. So we need to hire the trainer they got in Jamaica.
She released a statement saying she only participated as like almost like, I guess she was getting like a farewell thing, right? Where she knows she has all these fans and stuff like that. And so I think she may be coming up on the end, but Sha'Carri's only 21.
Yeah, because listen, I mean, usually, you got like you said, you got the 100, the 200, and the 400 or something. But then in the Olympics, didn't we get smoked in the men's category too? We got smoked.
Yeah,
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw that too. I saw that live.
We might need to evaluate our track and field team because we've been getting smoked pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it, realistically, just off of memory, who was the last person? Michael Johnson?
Well, who was
American top track athlete? Michael Johnson, right?
No, this way after him.
I know Usain Bolt was running the field for a while. He's not U.S., right? He's Jamaica too.
Right.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah,
he was destroying a bunch of United States guys.
Well,
there was somebody else though, I think.
It was him after that.
Yeah,
it was.
Between Usain Bolt and Michael Johnson, when you watch them run though, their races were ridiculous because they were beating people by like lengths, like huge lengths. I still remember Usain Bolt could have turned backwards in one race and ran backwards the last 10 yards.
When Michael Johnson, the image that still sticks in my mind is I can't remember which particular race, but didn't he come up like limp or something? Had like a Charlie horse, or he pulled like. So unfortunately, that's still like out there.
Yeah,
it was like a huge race for him, and he just got injured.
Yep, I remember that. But yeah, we might need to revamp the track team. Get those guys back in order. But we've been through a lot of different sports and stuff, and now we got Theo's segment. Now listen, a new segment that I'm loving here. All right, Theo, let's go with him.
I got two different questions for you guys, both football, both on the same position. But this one we're gonna call it start, bench, cut, and these are all about running backs. The first one is start, bench, cut. Curtis Martin, Marcus Allen, Terrell Davis.
Ooh.
I think I'm starting Terrell Davis. Prime time Terrell. Granted, all those guys had great careers, but a prime time Terrell Davis was like you could almost pencil him in for 2,000 yards at one point. It seemed like the only thing that was stopping him was the migraine headaches or whatever it was. Right. So I'm probably starting Terrell Davis, and I may go with Curtis Martin, the bench. Because
You cut Marcus Allen?
Probably.
I mean, for me, I probably would start Terrell Davis because I think even though Terrell Davis' career was shorter than those guys, I think for like a 6-year span, a 5 or 6 year span, there was nobody even close to Terrell Davis during that one point.
He was a beast.
I think I probably would cut Curtis Martin and keep Marcus Allen because I think Curtis Martin was great. But Curtis Martin seemed like it was kind of, you ever know those longevity type of things? Where you understand what I mean? Yeah, it's a longevity thing. He was a very durable running back for a long time. So,
which is what I like about him, reliability.
Yeah, I don't know how great he was, like how many years he was the best running back in the league, per se. But I might cut Curtis Martin and keep Marcus Allen.
Yeah, I'm my boy Marcus Allen, man. I mean, Marcus Allen was great, man. I mean, Oakland Raiders, Even his wars with Al Davis tried to ruin his career and put him a fullback with Bo Jackson.
Yep.
He succeeded. He succeeded in that, and eventually he came back to being running back when Bo got hurt and still shined and was killing everybody. Then went to KC and destroyed too in KC. But I like his running style. I think he's elusive. He's strong.
Yeah.
I think he has a better vision than those guys. Like Terrell Davis is nice. I think Terrell Davis is more of a downhill runner with the stretch runs. Remember, them Buckles use that zone stretch all the time. He's downhill. But I like guys to be a little more nimble. Shake and bake a little bit and still hit that hole. So I would go starting Marcus Allen. I love Curtis Martin, man. Curtis Martin was good with the New England and the Jets, man. Curtis Martin was good. I'm gonna cut Terrell Davis based on he had a short career.
Okay.
Based on that, but if we go into forget this pure 100% healthiness, that's tough with Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin was a mofo, man. He was great. But I'll give Terrell Davis the bench, and I'll cut Curtis Martin though. So I'll go that route with starting Marcus Allen, and I'll bench Terrell Davis, and I'll cut Curtis Martin reluctantly. But I'll go that route.
Okay.
And the second one I have for you guys, also running back, Adrian Peterson, Ladina Tomlinson, Eric Dickerson.
Cut bench. I'm starting.
Start bench cut.
Yeah,
I'm starting Peterson.
Ooh.
Yeah, for me, he's like another like Terrell Davis in terms of at one point this guy. He was just a monster to me. So I'm starting, and I'm probably again. I like LT. I'm probably benching LT.
You want to hear the funniest thing? For me, it's different too. Adrian Peterson, I love. So AP, he's starting. We'll say AP was good. AP's still good today. He can get out there and get you 1,000 yards today. So AP is good, but. I think I gotta bench Eric Dickerson and cut LT. and again, LT for me, listen, I like these guys that they're consistent and they do stuff, but it seems like to me like a lot of those guys. I'll give you a perfect example. LT and Curtis Martin will get you 12, 13, 1,400 yards for 10 years. But they're never gonna get you 1,900, 2,000, They might have a breakout year, but these other dudes were like electric. Like AP get the ball and turn, a 1-yard break through the tackle to a 90-yard touchdown run. He did that like 2 years ago on the Redskins. So it's just tough. I think it goes back to like what you said about the style too. Like Curtis Martin or Daniel Tomlinson, they can get yards. They can get 7. They can get 10. They downhill runners. They're real good scheme backs, but I think some of these other guys, they could just do their own thing. And Eric Dickerson basically was the older version of Adrian Peterson. So those two guys are almost exactly the same guy, except for in different eras. Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Eric Dickerson bias. I'm probably showing my age right now, but Eric Dickerson was. He was a beast, man, and he was an effortless runner. It was effortless, it was just so smooth, and I like guys who could run different styles. I'm quite sure Dickerson could get those tough yards like Terrell Davis like that, but he's a home run hitter. He's a guy who ran for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
At any given moment. And I like guys who could catch the ball too in the backfield as well. Yeah. I think LT is a better receiving running back out of all three guys.
Yeah.
For sure. So, but I'm gonna go with Dickerson. I'm more biased to Eric Dickerson. I remember him growing up, man. He was just sensational, man. But these things like there's really no wrong answers. It's all about personal preference, who you like, so to speak. So there's never no wrong answer. But I'm gonna be biased because I love Eric Dickerson for sure.
Okay.
Adrian Peterson. This AP is like Terrell Davis, like you guys mentioned. It's like these guys you don't want to tackle these guys, man.
Yeah.
If you want to hit past the linebackers, it's a wrap. The safety ain't tackling these guys at all.
Yeah.
And you guys got speed too. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Dickerson out of bias, And Daniel was tough, man. Adrian Peterson was a monster too. I'm not gonna cut AP, man. Believe it or not, man. Only because I like versatility at that position more than anything else. But
Okay.
I could start AP as well, but I'm more. Give me the Roger Craigs of the world, the Eric Dixon of the world. I got guys who could run and catch in the backfield, man. One guy who's more of a downhill runner. Because you don't really see much Terrell Davis doing screens like that or Adrian Peterson doing screens. So it's about preference for me. But it's tough one to call, man. It's kind of tough to call.
I got a basketball one for you.
Let's
So
do it.
we got three guys, right? We got one roster spot, and these guys are all trying to get back in the game, and they're all familiar. You got Isaiah Thomas, you got what's him? You got Gerald Green, and you got Tariq Evans. Who gets that spot?
I'm
Because
probably
Tariq Evans can be reinstated this year, and
I
Gerald
think I'm
Green.
going with Evans. I think Evans has the size. The guy could do everything on the court. He was one of those guys who was nearly averaging. He was like a triple-double threat every night. I don't know. I'm a fan of Evans. Not the other guys are great, but I'm going with Evans.
For me, either Isaiah or Tariq Evans. I don't know.
Okay.
So Gerald was a strong three. Gerald Green. I think our two guys being more off the table than Gerald Green. They're more versatile, could score better than Gerald Green.
Yeah.
But in fast break, Miles has got the damn way because Gerald Green gonna trip over the whole park.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I love Isaiah, man. I love Isaiah. I'm gonna go Isaiah based on body of work.
Okay.
I think he's shown that he could carry a team and make big shots. I don't recall Tariq. Tariq was nice, I think Tariq would take off the dribble better, you know what I'm saying, and better finisher. But I don't recall too many big shots being made the way Isaiah made those in the past. So I'm gonna go based on shot making ability, man, and crunch time and big moments. I'm gonna go with Isaiah. But that's a good one though for sure.
I mean, for me, I gotta say, like you guys both said, Gerald Green is definitely like the throwaway one out of the three. So he's definitely the guy I would wish him would let go out of that. But with Isaiah Thomas and Tariq Evans, it's tough because it comes down to like what your team makeup is and stuff like that. But I mean, I think right now, I haven't seen Tariq Evans lately too, so I don't know really what he's doing. So Tariq Evans could be the size of what's the dude from the Celtics who gained all the weight. We don't know what Tariq Evans looks like. So
Right, exactly.
If I have to go with Isaiah Thomas, just because I don't know what Tariq Evans looked like, but if it was Tariq Evans in shape, and I seen him because I haven't even seen him in any leagues, like even the European league, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
So I got to go with Isaiah just because I haven't seen Tariq Evans. But if Tariq Evans was out there getting 70, 80 points, it would be Tariq Evans, definitely.
Right.
What?
That's a good one. Yeah, Tariq was tough, man. He was tough, man. He was tough.
So, any final words, guys?
Coming up on the NFL season, I'm looking forward to seeing my Jets do well. Finally, we got what appears to be an offensive game. So I'm excited for that. And then following that, we got the start of the NBA season creeping up on us. Let's go New York sports.
For sure. I got a few things to say. I want to say congrats to Miguel Cabrera. Hit his 500 home run today, 20th player ever in baseball history. Hit his 500 home run. Atlanta Hawks hired Nick Van Exel as assistant coach. I got to know about that.
Yep.
Penny Hardaway, I know Penny Hardaway doing Memphis College, but he hired Larry Brown. Now he just hired Rasheed Wallace as coach. So that's good.
Yeah.
For Rasheed Wallace. I'm surprised he didn't go to North Carolina. North Carolina didn't give him an offer. Because he was a high school coach too, so it's kind of surprising though. But good to see these guys resurface back in some kind of basketball format, whether it's college or pro. That's for sure. Yankees is hot. They won nine in a row. 9-1 in the last 10 games. Got the fourth best record in the American League. Seem like the hottest team in baseball right now, and let's go Yankees.
Yeah, I wish him again. The Yankees are some great. We playing the best ball we played all season. I kind of hitched my bandwagon to Zach Wilson a little bit. He's looking like he got the confidence with all that's fun and games. Like with Mike Tyson, everybody's got a game plan until they get hit. So let's see how that works out. And we'll win. Another congratulations to Jason Terry. Jason Terry's the new G League coach of the Denver Nuggets.
Nice.
So we're getting some good opportunities out there. So that's good to see. And we also have Jason Hart was named the coach of the G League Ignite team.
Really?
That's good. Yeah.
That's nice.
So we're getting some guys with some opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting to see. Jason Hart was actually the coach, the assistant. A lot of people know he was actually assistant coach at USC.
I've never seen him on the bench. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bench USC. That's right. I do recall seeing that. My memory is always killing my Georgetown Hoyas and they played for Syracuse, man. You know what I'm saying? I just remember him more than anything else, though. But I recall him on the bench at USC for sure.
Yeah. But hey, thanks again, guys, man. Another great show.
Yes, sir.
Well,